Yeah, we're so glad you're here. Oh, we're so glad to be together in unity. We're so glad you're here.
Huh? What do you think about that? So, speaking of people who make you feel good, Karen is with us this morning, and she's going to be sharing the message today. And we're actually celebrating Earth Day, or it's kind of a continuation. You know what I mean? So she's got a talk that she's going to do for us, and we're just really happy to have you with us. And why don't you come on up and share with us? And thanks for being here. Let's give her a hand.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, you know, we have Earth Day, then we have Earth Week, and then hopefully we'll have Earth Month. Yeah. But what would it be like if every day was Earth Day? Is it on?
It is on. It's mine.
Okay, now am I on? No?
You're on, just not very loud.
Can there something I can do about it? Nope. Okay. Oh, okay. Now we got it. Okay. All right. Hear me in the back, right? So we were talking about Earth Day and how it could become Earth life. Every single day would be Earth Day. Wow, that would be a difference, wouldn't it? Wonder if we could hold the consciousness that the Earth matters. Our future matters. Our children matter. Wow. If we really, we talk about that, it's like a slogan or something, or, you know, it's something you put on a bumper sticker, or, you know, maybe you recycle and you think about it. But wonder if we could elevate that. Wonder if we could bring that into the hope of spring that we're all experiencing now. It's that sense of resurrection. You know, Mark, my husband, and I drove down from Asheville. We live in Fairview, just right outside of Asheville. And it was so wonderful to see the green mountains and all the greening that had occurred. And I love spring. I love spring for so many reasons. But one of the things that I love doing when we come down here is we look for the strawberry stand. They're open. Woohoo! We got strawberries. That's where we're going to be stopping on the way home. Yeah, got strawberries. Now we know it's spring. Yeah, we got it. And pretty soon, the other really wonderful thing I love to do is watch lightning bugs. The lightning bugs will be coming. That usually happens for us about mid-May, about another month. Maybe it happens here sooner. When you were growing up, did you call them lightning bugs or fireflies? How many people called lightning bugs? Let me see. Yeah, okay, we're in the South. That happens, right? If you grew up north, it's usually fireflies. So today we're going to talk about the wisdom of the fireflies and how the fireflies have taught us and can inform us a different way to live, a different way to be in relationship to the earth and to one another. Fireflies are an amazing thing. There's, first of all, they're worldwide. Did you know that? They even are in Japan, right? There's a lot of different kinds of fireflies. There's lots of different kinds of lightning bugs that are out there. But basically, all lightning bugs go through distinct stages of growth. And each one is absolutely necessary. There's first a little egg. And that egg has to be laid in like wild, untouched things like leaf, and it's called leaf litter, but it's not natural fallen leaves where somebody didn't come and mow them up, and chop them up, and rake them up and all that. But lightning bugs don't exist by themselves, right? It's that interconnectedness of all life that is so beautiful and exciting. And they have to have their own little habitat, and that's usually in leaves. So once they're laid and they come out and they're little larvae, larva is the second stage, and they go and they feed. They go underground, usually, most species do. They go underground. There's no wings. There's no shine. They're just slowly becoming. I was talking to Shelley about her grandchildren, and as we all know, those little kids, they can eat more than you would ever believe they're going to be eating, you know. The grandkids come, well, let's go to the grocery store, you know. And that's the way it is with all life. We have to go into that stage of deeply becoming. And it takes a diversity, a culture. And then they have that pupa stage that's sort of like the chrysalis of a butterfly, but it's very, very soft. And there's no drama. It was just quietly changing. For some species, all of that can happen 2 years. For some, it's shorter. But there's a nurturing that goes through these stages. They have causes and conditions. That's what we say in Buddhism. Everything has causes and conditions. But it does. It has to have causes. It has to have conditions. You have to find the right thing. And then all of a sudden you're sitting out there on your deck and these lights come out. The lights come out and this deep sense of awe and wonder. I don't think anything gets me more connected to that sense of innocence. And you're just sitting there listening and watching the little lights coming out of the grass and the trees. And well, they're not all up there. Some of them are on the ground, but we won't go all into that. But anyway, have you sat out on your deck and watched lightning bugs? I want to see your hand. Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's that thing that happens early summer that just reminds us. It reminds us that there's a purpose. When those little guys wake up, they have a definite purpose. And that purpose is to recreate the next generation. That's what they live for. Those little lights are mating lights. Sometimes the adults don't even live longer than 2 months. But you know what? They don't waste any time. They are creating the next generation. Wow, wonder if we did that. What would that be like? If we really got serious and said, our next generation and the planet they live on are really important. Wonder what would that be like? We can use that. We got some laughter there. We got some power of imagination to just think for a minute. What would it be like? Well, for us in unity, what it is, we already have something built into the unity philosophy. And that's the 5th stage of unity. And that stage is, we know it's not enough just to know something. We have to do something. We really have to do something. We have to do something. We have to act. Knowing that our children are precious isn't enough. Knowing that our earth is fragile and interdependent, it's not enough. We have to live it. We have to protect it. We have to prioritize and act like it matters every single day. It would be so radical to think every single policy that got voted on would be, if we had one question first, does this make the life better for kids and for the earth that they will inherit? And if it does not, don't pass it. Think of something else. Will it make the life for our children and the earth they inherit better? Well, think about that. Because if we get that one thing right, how would that shift? How would that shift? Child care providers and teachers would be highly sought after jobs and be paid at the level of a CEO. Well, yeah, okay, that's okay, Karen, that's not feasible. But look at what we are choosing to be feasible. We can do things differently, and things that are being differently right now. Every school, no matter what the zip code would be beautiful, sustainable, have green spaces. There wouldn't be a good school and a bad school. It would be great education purposes for our children. Our children would inherit a place to breathe, a place to be a little wild, be a little messy. And when it comes to health, mental health and physical health, we wouldn't have to carry debt. It would be the right thing to do for our children and for our planet. Wow. We can use the power of imagination to value a planetary shift. Not only can we imagine it, we can do it. We can do it. It's not as fanciful as perhaps it sounds. Let me tell you how I see this happening right now. Like I said, I live in Fairview. Mark and I live in Fairview, and it's kind of it's the east side of Asheville, and it's kind of the rural area. And we're not very far from Hickory Nut Gap Farms. And I love going up there. They have a little farm store, and they have this beautiful, beautiful old North Carolina barn. You just feel country. And we have lots of community activities and stuff up there. And I made friends with the farm manager, and we go through the store, and I pick at it, and I tell him what I want to see different, and he laughs at me. So, but let me tell you one of the things of how they care. It's an agricultural business. They have a business where they care for cows, pigs, chickens. And when I talk with Brian, he likes to do community activities. But you know what really gets him going and so excited is when he's talking about sustainable agriculture and how all the laws that can be changed and what they're doing to create on a community level, how they can get the support for this beautiful level of community agriculture so that we can have sustainable produce and meats. And they care about every single little pig and cow up there. And let me tell you a story. We had Helene, as you all did too, here, and a lot of trees are down and that kind of thing. But can you imagine having farm animals that you had to take up to the top of the hill? Well, they had farm hands who were out there working in the rain, and they were trying to get these guys up. They're getting their chickens up, getting the turkeys up higher, getting the cows up higher. And then there was this one pig, this sow. Well, they ended up, they kept trying to, they have a little stick, and they kind of touch the butt, trying to get it to go up, up, up. Cow wouldn't move. This sow wouldn't move. The sow wouldn't move. And took a few little steps, and then it stopped. Took a few little steps more, and then it stopped. And they were trying and pushing, and finally it sat down and had piglets. They sat there, these farmhands sat there in the storm, birthing 9 piglets. And how do you get the sow up the hill? Carry the piglets. The sow will follow. And it did. We can care. Human beings do care. I know, I've talked to other people, that there are these little communities here in around Taylor's and here in South Carolina that have the same kind of caring for their farm, for their animals, for their produce, for humanity. and the sustainability of our earth, our children. We have it. We're already doing it. How great it would be to support it. How great it would be to envision that this is our normal. Because if we don't see these things as normal, then what we got is normal. Now, just breathe. Just breathe. So it doesn't have to be some huge, huge thing. It means that we get down there in the ditches and we care about every little piglet going up there. That's what we care about. It's not a fantasy. It's life with intention. It's life with purpose. It's life with saying, the next generation matters. Our earth matters. And what am I going to do about it today? What am I going to do about it today? Well, the late Pope Francis spoke about this as a law of nature, a rule of nature. And it says, in this rule of nature is a way to look at life today. It says, rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is the rule of nature. We are all born to help each other, no matter how difficult it is. Life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy. And even much better still when others are happy because of you. We live for one another. We live to care. It's that activation of compassion. It's not just a call of action. It's a call of evolution. It's to evolve, to know that our compassion is strong enough to set out in the middle of a hurricane and birth little baby piglets. Our compassion is strong. Our compassion is very strong. So it's not just about our call to action. It's about an activation of our compassion. That activation. When you're out there talking to your neighbors, ask them, did you see the fireflies last night? Did you see the fireflies? Wait until about June, I guess May probably here. Have a firefly party where everybody comes over and just watches the fireflies on your deck. And then tell them, it doesn't happen by magic. It doesn't happen by magic. We have to have wild spaces. We have to have wild spaces for our own heart. We have to have places where we can get a little messy. We don't have to abide by every single rule that somebody else came up with. We have to have some leaf litter. Would it be fun to have your neighbors all agree that let's not rake the leaves in that one corner over there next year? Let's all not manicure that spot in our yard. Let's agree to have a little messy so we can have more fireflies, more hope, more wonder in our lives, that glow. Yeah, I got a nod. Thank you. Fireflies don't live just to live for themselves. They're always looking for the next generation. Can't we? What's stopping us? They live lightly. So can we. What stops us? They glow generously. So can we. What stops us? Jesus said a lot about light. Jesus called us the light of the world, called us the salt and the light. You know, Jesus didn't have a lot of commands for us in our relationships. But he did say that you are the salt and the light of the earth. Well, the salt brings out flavor, brings out wonders, wonderful things, and we bring it out in other people and other things around us. And that's light, that we are that light. Said, you know, don't put your light on a bushel. Don't put your light on a hill, and then don't cover it with a bushel. Well, I remember in when I was learning in my first church when I was a little girl, and the teacher says, and you know what happens when you put the bushel over the light? And I said, yeah, the bushel catches on fire. Okay. But in many ways, that's saying that we can't hide. It's our true nature. It's our real nature. And anytime we try to step ourselves down, what happens? We get bigger, maybe in ways that we don't particularly want and aren't convenient. But we do. We get bigger. So let's have a steady glow, like the fireflies, like the lightning bugs, with purpose, with intent. Lightning bugs don't glow for applause. They glow to pass things forward. You have a wonderful church here. I love coming here. The people are wonderful. The ministers are great. They're my ministers. So when Phil, raise your hand. When Phil Price is up there saying, can we have a volunteer to do something? Think about it. Get up and volunteer. Get up and volunteer. So you can glow for this church, for this community. Next time you're sitting on those deck and you're just seeing those little lights, where they don't do it for praise, to be the biggest and the bestest. No, they're doing it for intent, for true purpose, for the next generation. So the question stands, what if we truly live our lives so that we have a true purpose for our children, a purpose for our children and the earth? Wonder if we could really protect the earth every single day. So we cannot just glow, we can evolve. What stops us? What stops us? Thank you. To feel that sense of wonder right here, right now, as you enter the stillness. That stillness, just to feel yourself in your seat a little bit more. If it feels good for you to close your eyes and put your feet on the floor and feel the earth beneath you and the stillness that arises from just letting yourself be in this moment right here, right now. And just take another deep breath and let yourself sink even more into our earth and feel the pulsing that she offers. This rhythm of life, this vast potential. We are interconnected to and with our being of life. In this stillness, it becomes sort of a silence between the thoughts. Just focus and allow yourself to be there. that stillness arises within you, telling you that you are here. You're here, and your purpose is revealed to you moment to moment. Not something you think about, but something you are. In the wonder, in that great sense of awe, we find ourselves in the web of life, and then our beauty, our compassion, our sense of pausing allows us to be in this moment. The sense of awe, a sense of wonder is real. It's palatable. You can feel it and you can be it. In fact, I'd like for you to tone that word with me, that sound of awe. Just to take a moment and get ready, because we're going to say it together 3 times. Breathe in, and we breathe out awe. Ah. Breathe in and radiate out in all directions. And one last time, sending it to that person, that event, that situation that needs their awe, your wonder, the light of the world. And sit in the silence for this moment. Feel what's changed without much effort. When you're ready, open your eyes and come back to this beautiful sacred place. Kind of look around at your neighbors. I know these are the ones who are the light with you, glowing in the evening and in the day. Thank you.